Hello everyone and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. The subject I wanted to talk about today is something that I have been learning a lot about recently. Should have learned it so much earlier in life, but you know, some things you just don't have control over. So what I want to talk about kind of has a lot of negative associations, and that is boundaries. I always thought that boundaries were a scary thing, and I always were afraid when people put boundaries up towards me because I didn't know how to handle them, because I was never really taught how to handle a boundary. And it was kind of approached to me growing up that if someone was setting a boundary with you, it's because you already were crossing it and they didn't know how to handle you. And, you know, it was just like a negative association with it completely. But a little while back, I heard a lady named Teal Swan talk about how boundaries are just preferences, like they really are. And, you know, technically, like the kind of ice cream you like, that's a boundary, that's a preference. It's the same kind of thing. You know, might not like mint chocolate chip ice cream, and you're like, no, I don't want that. That's a boundary. And it can be something as simple as that, and something as complex as staying away from a really toxic person that has been a part of your life for a really long time, and you no longer want to be a part of them. You know, you no longer want to have that toxicity in your life anymore. And because it's better for you, and it's, you know, it's counterproductive to your healing journey or the betterment of yourself. So recently I have been learning lots about boundaries, and mostly because of my child. You know, children are wonderful little creatures. They teach you all kinds of things. So many profound lessons can be learned from a 2-year-old if you allow yourself to learn from them. You know, they're learning so much from us, and I think it's highly beneficial to turn it around perspective-wise and realize how much you should be, or you possibly could be, learning from them. So my son is 2, so he is in the terrible 2s, or some people like to say in a positive way, the transformative 2s. I kind of am on in the middle of both of those phrases, because there is a lot about him being 2 that has changed his personality, and what I knew of him as when he was 1. And then, you know, there's a lot that's been super adorable and cute and exciting, and, you know, those just special moments. But one of the things that I feel like he is really trying to learn, or needing to learn at this stage, is boundaries. And I never thought of it like that until the other night. This is like exposing myself, but why not? You know, I'm a very open book. But the other night, he was sitting next to me in a chair that is meant for 1 person. And there was a whole couch with my husband sitting on it over there across the room. And I was like, Levi, because I was trying to do some work on my computer. I was like, Levi, can you go sit with Dada? Like, I just need some space. If you're a mom, you understand the term touched out. I was touched out. And he was really just wanting attention. My husband wasn't being very helpful. Like, he just wasn't. And so he just kept like picking at me. Like, I felt like I had a younger sibling just picking at me. And I was like, this is such a weird place to be as the mother, but you feel like your sibling being picked on by a very small child. Like, it was so weird. And I just kept saying, Levi, stop, Levi, no, please don't do that, you know. And he wasn't listening to me. Until finally my husband gets up, picks him up, takes him in the room, and like sits him down and like talks to him like really sternly. And my husband was like, I'm tired of him like pushing you around. Like, you know, tell him no, like push, like get him, you know, he needs to stop kind of thing. Like, and I was like, my child is pushing me around? Like, it was like that phrase that like rang a bell in my mind that I was being pushed around by a freaking 2-year-old. And it's kind of true. I kind of was. And so that kind of made me realize that I let people do that quite a bit, or I have in the past. Let people do that to me in a lot of different areas in life, because I don't really know in learning what a healthy boundary actually is. And it's okay if my boundaries hurt your feelings, because I'm not responsible for your feelings. And that was like a momentous little weird timing to have a revelation, but I had it, you know. It can come at any time if you let it. So just in that moment of everyday life of my toddler just being a toddler, a 2-year-old that doesn't understand boundaries, I realized that I need to keep boundaries in place, you know, for this child, so he can understand what boundaries are and why they're okay and why it's not a big deal to have them, and respectfully place them with the people in your life. Like, for a small example is, you know, I'll say to him, if he has a stick in his hand, because he loves sticks, if he starts hitting me with it, I'll say, I'm gonna have to take that away if you keep hitting me. Mama doesn't want you to hit. Mama doesn't want you to hit her. And if he does it again, I take it away. If he doesn't hit me anymore, let him have it, you know? And just like respectfully placing the boundary, like not yelling and screaming at him, but just being like, I don't like that, so you need to stop. This is my body, you can't hit it, kind of thing. So I realized, you know, how hard like having boundaries and stuff like that is, but a way that I can start is with my 2-year-old, so that in the future he understands it better than I did at his age, or better than I did walking through life, because no one likes a doormat. No one really does. And I always wondered why people, especially in my like teens and stuff, it felt like I was like the last, you know, the last option. It felt like people always had better options to either hang out with me or be friends with, or just, you know, a lot of that teenage kind of stuff. But I truly see now that it was because I had no idea what boundaries were. And I just let people come in and out of my life. And I just let people, you know, take advantage of me. Because I didn't understand my worth, and that my boundaries and my preferences were important. So, I feel like a lot of people could relate to that, because in this world of toxic, it feels like toxic, I don't know how to describe it, but in this world of just like toxic healing and toxic like ideas of trauma and healing and whatnot, and like don't step on anyone's toes kind of thing. Sometimes you have to step on people's toes when you're holding a boundary, and you're not in charge of their feelings. You're not in charge of how they react based on your boundaries. That's up to them, and that reveals something about them. So if anything, I can encourage you in that way to stand up for yourself. Stick up for yourself, because what you like and what you want is just as important as what someone else likes and what someone else wants. So, happy Wednesday. I hope you guys have a great day, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.